bye-bye.
See you in a few minutes, Missy. She'll come back.
All right, well, since we're sitting here with Selena, I know that there were some things you wanted to talk about.
Yeah, I kind of wanted to talk about maybe starting to think about building a geriatric house for Selena, like soon. I would like to have it before summer, and she's just slowing down a little bit. I mean, not a lot, but she's slowing down a little bit, and it's kind of making me nervous, her going into summer and how summers get so rough here in Texas. And I'd like to build something behind, kind of just like Allie and Archie's, but build it behind her enclosure. And I think that one section looks like it's more than 10, I think that's 11 foot. So it might be 31 feet instead of 30 feet, but approximately 30 feet. Everything in my life is on 10s because every pipe out here is 10 foot apart. So that's how you know how far everything is 10s. Everything's in a 10. So it's 30 foot long. I was thinking about, she doesn't need a huge, she doesn't really need anything as big as Allie and Archie's. But I also don't want it to look funky either, because that's going to be the roadside. So I was thinking maybe if we built something like 10 foot wide, 10 foot wide and then like 30 foot long, like covering the whole backside. And then we could have, like the same thing Allie and Archie have, the indoor thing for people and the indoor thing for her. And then I will be honest with you, I may be moving in with her. Probably the same thing, like the whole glass door setup so people could see during tours, the French doors. But I'm trying to figure out how to decrease the spending a little bit though too. So I don't think we could skimp on some of the things. Yes, we can't skimp on some of the things. Some of the things we can't skimp on. Insulation. Another thing is FRP, which is that really hard plastic interior that, we really don't have to worry about her scratching through anything, but if the flies are back, by the way. Poopy knows all about that. So just maybe something, just forget what I just said because the dog, the tiger licking the whole thing. I don't have ADHD, but I feel like I do right now. So anyway, 30 foot long, kind of the same thing as Allie and Archie's, but skimping. I don't know what to cut cost on. One of the biggest problems with this is cost of materials has doubled pretty much, especially the materials that we need to build in the last year since the old COVID. So building materials are outrageously expensive. Allie and Archie's we were hoping to do for around $8,000, and I think we came in right under $15,000 for Allie and Archie's. Yeah, so pretty hefty tags on some of these building projects, and they didn't have to have a concrete slab. She's going to have to have a concrete slab put in, and that's an added expense. So what I'm kind of asking out there of all of you is some advice on your part. It's so hard. We talk about this all the time. It's so hard to, say, okay, we're going to do another fundraiser when nobody has jobs and it's so hard and COVID sucks. And, and I hate to do that, but at the same time, I hate to not have an air-conditioned place for Selena. We could build a little small room or we could do something really little, but preferably I'd like to build something that will last and accommodate for other, all right, listen. I know flies drive you crazy, but you've got to stop. You're distracting me. But it'd be nice to have something that's permanent that will accommodate for the long run for our kitties. Because Selena will not live forever, even though we hope she will, but she won't. And there'll be somebody else that's going to be the old cat that's going to need also. And this is really a great enclosure for an older cat. There's no platforms. That the mound is very steady. She can't fall off of it. She can kind of roll down the hill, but for an older cat, there's no jumping hazards. They are falling hazards so much. I guess she could fall off the front, but honestly, there's a ledge there to be really, really hard for a cat to fall off the front. So this is kind of an ideal enclosure for an older cat, smaller, where they're not, you know, hurting themselves basically. And if we could do that, that would be awesome. Really, really awesome. So anybody that knows of any grants available, anybody that has any connections in the lumber world, FRP, insulation, concrete, anybody want to come and build? Because I'm telling you, labor is another thing, you know, it's expensive. Calvin doesn't come cheap because he knows what he's doing. He knows how to do everything. He saves us a lot of money, but we still, you know, it's still money. So anybody that has any ideas, you know, like any comments, either direct message me, email me, Heidi@K-Rescue Texas, or comment on here below. Be really nice. We're about to have a race. If you want to, Noelle's right there. Her little ears are saying, "I'm gonna chase."
Bubs is over there on the other side trying to get her to chase him. They've been running back and forth for a while.
And she's tired, and he never gets tired. So he keeps trying to tease her. So I thought she was gonna run because she like kind of got all paunchy down. Lolan, go get him! Get him, no.
There she goes.
Good girl, Noe. Bye, Sam. Bye, Sam. Bye, Sam. Bye, Sam. Bye, Sam. Bye, Sam. She says, help. She says, I'm playing with this dumb dog that doesn't realize I'm a lion.
You getting tired, Noe?
She says, we're not meant for this long run. We're the short run people. Anyway, do you have anything to add, Jane?
No?
Yeah, just kind of help. Like just some ideas, some helping ideas. Any grants? Did I say that already?
Yeah.
Grants, people in grant. I mean, I don't know. Any ways to any ideas? Anybody that's COVID shotted up and ready to go and work, have a construction company that wants to come to Bridgeport, Texas and stay with tigers and build habitats. I don't know. It would just be, but experienced people that know what they're doing, because that's what we need. We need concrete. Definitely need concrete. That's going to be a biggie. Gosh, concrete's really expensive. Lumber's really expensive. I don't know. Building's rough right now. We started working on the vet center, and the guy already he very much underbid on the vet center, and he's trying to bite the bullet on it, but it's gonna be, because he didn't realize that the prices just keep on going up.
Do you want to answer some questions?
I would love to answer some questions.
Okay.
Poochie. He doesn't have food. It's wood. You need to not go over there.
Okay. Ooh. Okay, let's answer. We'll do 2 questions today.
2 questions.
All right, this question is from Tabitha Dinger.
Hi, Tabitha.
And Tabitha asks, when cats or any of the animals need company, especially when they're in the sunroom, do you consider sitting with them to be work or downtime?
Both. There's usually so much work to do, especially through COVID. You know, there isn't downtime, you know. So when last night I went in and fed Raven, and I have to stay with her the whole time she's eating, because sometimes she chokes, and you know, I need to be there just in case for emergency purposes. So I'm with her the whole time, but normally I stay with her for about an hour, and I'll work on emails or Jamie knows how much I do that. I work on whatever I work on at the time, or I just lay on the couch and vegetate and just talk to her. Last night, Derek got home about the same time I was going in to feed her, and we went in there and played charades. And Raven was on my, it's Christmas charades, by the way. And Raven was on my team, and we won. So much won, Raven, because he's not very good at that game. He thinks he is, but he's not very good. I don't understand why he just didn't do what I did and just kind of talk through the whole thing. You know, it kind of sounds like, and he goes, "You're not supposed to say that." I'm like, "Yeah." So anyway, Raven, it was a lot of laughing. It was actually pretty good. But it is the sunroom, but it's also a game room, so it's kind of nice to play games in there sometimes and just spend time with her. But yeah, I love being with Raven, and I make sure I go in there multiple times a day, at least. Oh, you scare me, baby. Forgot where I was for a minute. Now I forgot where I was. I try to go in there a couple times a day and at least give her a little bit of scratches and tell her I love her. Is that a person or an animal?
I'm pretty sure that's Kevin.
What's wrong with Kevin?
He was hacking up some grass earlier.
Oh. I never heard him cough before. He better not have the COVID.
Well, he hasn't had contact with anybody that has it.
No. Came on some of his food. Conspiracy theory. Okay, anyway, just joking. All right, so yeah, I love to relax and see them, but it's always there's always something else, so it's hard. You know, it's always hard because it's not just Raven. Because then I'm like, oh, but what about Cassie? And then and then I go to bed at night and I'm like, you know what? I have not given Slade a smooch in like a week. I have, you know, and then I'm like, oh, but Ezra probably is really getting lonely too. I probably need to get down. And especially when there's not all the volunteers here that we normally have, it's a little bit, it's work. It is work, but I love it, but it's still work. Does that make sense, Jamie?
It makes absolute sense.
All right. It's that where my heart is torn all the time. I wish I didn't have to do what I was doing all day today, which is washing floors and cleaning house and vacuuming and washing windows and doing dishes, and that's what I did all day today, because I did not clean the house one day or do one dish all week long because I was out here working all week long. So found more broken pipes from the storm. It's a constant struggle. But I had a list of 47 things to do this week, literally 47. And that was just like things that I wanted to get done. And I think we got about 35 of them done. So that's pretty good, because some of them are big things. So, but yeah, it's a little A, a little B. I know Jamie feels the same way. It's like saying that about your kids, you know? Is it enjoyable or is it like a job? Sometimes it's like a job. You know?
Well, there's a purpose behind it. It's like,
yeah.
You know, when we do videos and take pictures of the cats, it looks like, oh, you're just going around taking pictures of the cats.
I'd love to do what you do. That's so cool.
But
it's work.
There's a purpose behind it. Like, it's not just...
Frankly, if I could go in, and Raven's bed was clean. If I could just go in with her and cuddle up and get a pillow and take a little snoozikins with her, it would not be work. But it just can't happen. I mean, she's a leopard.
Yep.
So.
All right.
Anyway, yeah, that's that. That's a great question, because it is. It's a struggle.
Get my questions ready here. All right. So you mentioned Ezra and Slade, so we'll do a question about them. Melissa Westfall
Hi, Melissa.
asks, how have Ezra and Slade been in their new enclosure? How are they getting on as neighbors?
You know, that's the same thing what we was just talking about. It's a little bit of love and it's a little bit of I want to kill you. But I think they really like each other, honestly. But we did add I had Calvin go in and add another pipe. There's a pipe about this high to keep from, because they run back and forth on the fence all the time. And you can hear them. They make noise and it doesn't sound like a party time. It sounds like big tiger, scary tiger things. So yeah, it needs to be there. But I'm telling you, I think they love each other at the same time. Tigers are funny. They're not like people, you know. And when you say love, I use that word. I mean,
well, they're two big boys.
They're
and
two
they're
big
gonna,
boys.
like, it's like watching boys, you know, like,
brothers, like brothers,
bully each other, you know, where it's like,
yeah, out there playing a game. Like two brothers go out in the yard and they start playing football, and one of them's gonna get pissed off because somebody hit him in the head with the ball wrong, or somebody was being too rough. I mean, how many times does that kind of stuff happen? And do they love each other? Yeah. But do they fight? Yeah. I mean, it just happens. And that's Slade and Ezra. And you know, you just gotta, they're just so basic and primal. They don't have all those things that people have, like a conscience and you know.
It's like, this is really fun playing with you, but at the same time, you're another male tiger, and I should be protecting my territory from you.
One thing that I think is really good about the two of them, though, is that Ezra's neutered. And, you know, somebody asked me the other day, why don't, you know, we should just neuter Slade or Slade and Boomer. And, you know, unless we have to, I mean, think about how many surgeries we would have out here. I mean, we could be doing surgeries for quite a while. And is it necessary? Not really. Because if you neuter a tiger that's full grown, it doesn't really change their behavior that much. If you get them when they're young, like we did with the kids, it does help. But I'm telling you, day before yesterday, Mr. Idris Khan was trolling, and it's a term that I use for male tigers when you see Archie do it a lot. Jamie, I know you've seen him, and maybe other people that have been here before. Male tigers will just go and just try to beat the crap out of every other tiger in the enclosure. And that's what Mr. Khan was doing the other day. So he got locked up all night by himself in the alleyway. I mean, he was doing the big boy circling, and he was jumping on Cal, biting her, and then turned around and bit Leon, and then bit Kona. And then I'm like, all right, biting Kona, this is not going to happen. You can't pick on the little guy.
Time out.
Time out. You got to go in here. First, I put Cal by herself, because I thought, oh, poor Cal, you know, he's picking on Cal. And so I locked Cal up to give her a little break, because we like to give Cal a break from the boys sometimes. So I thought that was a problem. And then that was when I saw Khan picking on the others, and I'm like, nope, Cal, get out. And that would switch-a-rootied. Yeah, he was being a stinker. So, you know, you can't take the tiger, no matter when you neuter him, whatever. You can't take all the tiger out. I mean, JP, Jakey, and Luca, they're exceptional to the. I mean, but Levi and Clyde got along great too, and Bonnie. I mean, and Clyde and Levi were intact. Weren't they both?
I think so.
I think they were too. I think they were both intact. Yeah. And it didn't change anything, so I don't know. They can get along, but it's definitely better to keep them together. And I mean, sometimes I want to put Nadal and Diwali together, but I think they're so happy the way they are right now, because they can go see each other whenever they want, but they also have the security of having their own space. And honestly, Nadal is super aggressive over food, and I think if we put them back together, we would have had to fed them separate anyway. So they'd have to be separate for a couple days, every couple days, just to eat, and then you'd be moving them back and forth and back and forth. I just think they're really happy the way they are. I don't think that they're. Do you think they're unhappy, Jamie?
I haven't seen. Honestly, to me, there was no change in their personality or behavior
I don't think
from when
so.
they were together. And
Except they're not. I mean, Diwali's not scared anymore.
No.
I mean, because Diwali used to get really scared because Nadal would kind of bully him a little bit. Not a little bit, a lot, especially when it came to food.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Anywho. So it's a beautiful day at Care.
It is a beautiful day.
Birds are chirping. Grass is growing.
Doing a good job, Poopy.
He says, wait, where? Is Mom leaving? Oh, yeah. There you go.
All right. Thank you for the questions. And
Love you all.
yeah, we'll talk to you later.
Yeah. Soon.
All right. Bye.
Bye.